Hey, welcome everybody to Sports Goofs number 110. I'm Francisco, joined by my buddy Andrew. We have no idea whether Charles will be here or not. If not, he'll just pop in for his weekly wrestling recap. But for the meantime, it's us two as a duo. Andrew, how you doing?
Doing all right. How are you, Francisco?
I'm fine. Well, you already know that. You already were with me at work, working on a project of mine. So we got that out of the way. That's done, and we're just gonna focus on sports. We weren't really sure when we were gonna broadcast this week, but we got it out of the way, and here we are. So that doesn't mean that there isn't anything sports related that happened this week. We got plenty of stuff. We got Olympics. We got baseball. Some other stuff going down with the off seasons with the NBA and the NHL. College football and NFL are getting ready. They're getting ready to get set soon enough. So there's we're getting to the fall/winter sports, Andrew, which some people really like. And look, for me, it's part of the slog right here of the baseball season, mainly because I follow a certain team named the Marlins, and they are definitely, well, I can't say definitely out of it because they play in the NL East, and the NL East is terrible, but they are essentially out of any playoff race, whilst your Tampa Bay Rays are on top of the AL East right now, and Charles's Yankees have played better since the trade deadline. So you guys have an actual thing to look forward to, whilst my Marlins can play a little spoiler, which I guess would be pretty funny because we're facing the Mets right now, and the Mets are not a good team. And it's always fun to spoil our division rivals' hopes, but really this year,
If you have no hope for any sort of playoffs or anything else, being a spoiler is the best thing.
yeah.
I mean, ask any college football fan, college sports fan. If your team goes 11-1, you want that one win to be against your rival, your big rival. That's just how it is.
Yeah, no, it's possibly for the Marlins. I don't know who I want us to spoil. I mean, it really depends on who the opponent is, and I've researched this, Andrew. I'm already on tankathon.com already. Like I'm already in tank mode at the moment, so it's gotten to that point of the season. Now, actually, let me lower this music slightly here in the background, just slightly. As of now, because we are here. And this is really the only thing I can look forward to. The tank race is being led by the Arizona Diamondbacks. They are 5 games. You can't really say 5 games up, but 5 games back of the Baltimore Orioles. They're 34-74. That nice 315 winning percentage. I thought they would be one of the worst teams ever to play, but I think it looks like they won't. They're not on pace to beat that 1962 New York Mets record, but they still look like they're way on track to lose 100 games for sure. So the Diamondbacks are for sure the worst team right now, and the Orioles set back at 5 games. Then the Texas Rangers at 5.5, the Pittsburgh Pirates at 7.5. So those are your truly awful teams, and the Marlins sit at 7th. With 12.5 games back of the Diamondbacks, and they're nowhere near as awful as Arizona. I know that for sure. So I don't believe the Marlins will win a tank race against that for sure. But it's a pretty interesting thing. It was interesting. The New York Mets have a compensatory pick in the first round next year for the draft. They will be selecting number 11, regardless of where they. So they'll have 2 first round picks next season. That's a bit weird. Your Rays sit at 28th at the moment. So they're fourth best team in Major League Baseball at the moment. So that
not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad. Just behind the team that beat you guys in the World Series, the Dodgers. Those dang dirty Houston Astros, second best team in baseball, and then the San Francisco Giants. It's an odd year, so they shouldn't win the World Series, but who knows? Who knows now? There's a different Giants team for sure, but they're doing it somehow. They're their best team in baseball as of this show. And well, and you know what? I'm just gonna keep going down this tank because I really legitimately look at this. So the Diamondbacks, they have not only are they the worst team in Major League Baseball, but they also have the toughest strength of schedule remaining in baseball. They are the worst team in baseball, and they still have a few series left against the best team in baseball, the San Francisco Giants. That's not good. That's not good at all.
That is very not good.
Yeah. And then the Marlins sit really at 15. So they're middle of the road with regards to strength of schedule. All right, our toughest opponent going forward will be the Tampa Bay Rays. Still got a 3-game series against them, and then the San Diego Padres. And so there's that. You guys in Tampa, St. Petersburg, the Rays have the 6th easiest strength of schedule going forward, because you guys have a bunch of games left against the Baltimore Orioles. So that'll help you guys nab up a bunch of wins over them and stay ahead of Boston and New York, and heck, even the Blue Jays. So
speaking of Baltimore, one of my favorite YouTube channels, Foolish Baseball,
yes,
released a video last week, within the past few days, talking about how Chris Davis's 0 for 56 streak.
Yes.
He had literally a 1 in a million chance of that streak happening.
Yeah. I remember us covering that streak.
And I remember when he broke it. We were grabbing, in the before times, we were grabbing food at Publix, and I was chastising you for putting ketchup on your sandwich.
Yes, and we got to do that again, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Go order some pub subs and it's a big old heaping helping of Heinz ketchup on top of that.
I will never understand that.
It's ketchup, man. It's good. All right, we're gonna get into our good old buddy Jeremy's argument. I mean, remember people got chastised him for putting mustard on his hot dog. Did you see that?
That's some bull right there. Mustard is definitely an acceptable condiment on a hot dog.
But there are people who don't put any condiments. Look, like my brother-in-law, and we're getting on a lot of tangents, and we're gonna do that because we really put this episode together on the fly. So there's gonna be a lot of improvisational talk here. But my brother-in-law specifically does not put condiments on a lot of his food, whether it's a burger or a sandwich or a hot dog. Heck, even a steak. He'll steak or barbecue. No barbecue sauce. None of that's getting near. I mean, he does partake sometimes with barbecue sauce on some things, but his steak is the way it's made, and that's how it. If it's a good steak, in his opinion, you don't need to put anything else on it.
I mean, I won't go against him on that statement alone.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a good steak, it does not need any sort of condiment. I will agree with him on that.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean there shouldn't be condiments on it, but that's a situation where I'd rather let the steak speak for itself.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, for me, I like condiments. I like dips and all that stuff, right? You give me some barbecue sauce, give me some, I don't know, melted cheese, get me some salsa, get me like all of these things. Everything except hot sauce. I'm not a hot sauce guy. That's what I'm not into. I'll have spicy things every once in a while, okay? I've tried the spicy chicken. We all know this, but spiciness is not something I gravitate towards adding to my food for the most part with regards to a sauce. It's mainly like if I'm going out someplace and they have I'll have something like maybe a little mild, maybe a little more spicy. Depends. Like a good ramen with a little spice, a little kick to it isn't that bad, you know. But there's a for me, I like the mixing and matching and all these options, and maybe that's because I don't know, I'm a forager when it comes to food. You know, there was one thing I always told my parents especially when I went to Florida State and was living for the most part on my own, especially that first year. I mean, because I had a roommate, but we never talked, so it was basically on my own. I was like, if there's one thing you guys don't have to worry about is me going hungry, because I will find food. I will forage. I'll eat crackers. I'll eat whatever. I will find a way to make a combination. And for that, I've made combinations of things that probably shouldn't be combined, for sure. Andrew, I'm sure if you had seen me back then, you'd have been like, "This what? How is this man getting a degree?" Because I've made tuna sandwich arepas. I've made all kinds of stuff, man. I've experimented. This is what I do in the kitchen. This is what happens. This is what's going to happen when I have my own kitchen in my own place. I'm just going to be a mad scientist sticking all kinds of stuff into my pub sub, all right? You guys better watch out. All right, if you're coming over, you coming over my place. Hey, Andrew, come on over. I'm making sandwiches. I got all kinds of stuff I'm sticking in there. So you beware, all right? But hey, it's also you could get some of that, or you could go to McDonald's, right? And just get yourself that BTS meal for sure. So you can do that too. But oh wow, we went off on a tangent.
Well, yeah. I will always accept a food tangent.
So let me continue with the baseball tank race right now. So your Rays sit at six easiest schedule going forward. So your toughest opponents right now, you still have a series against the Houston Astros and the Chicago White Sox. So there's the other two division leaders in the American League. So that should give you some, I guess, more confidence going forward in these last 2 months of the season to beat out Boston for the division. And the Red Sox, their toughest opponents are you guys. So I have some series against Tampa, and their easiest is the Baltimore. I think that's pretty much everybody's easiest opponents are the Baltimore Orioles, if it's in the American League East. So there's that. The New York Yankees sit at 18th, I guess. 18th, I don't know, strength of schedule, whatever. It's really you guys, Tampa, that is their toughest opponents, followed by the White Sox, and then, of course, the Orioles. But the team with the easiest strength of schedule are the Philadelphia Phillies. Their hardest opponents will be you guys. They have a 2-game series against Tampa, and then a 3-game series against the Milwaukee Brewers, the other division leader, and in the Central, the NL Central, and then a 3-game series against the Los Angeles Dodgers, who are not leading their division, but one of the best teams in the National League. So that's Philadelphia's, but they still have 6 games against the Arizona Diamondbacks. That's their easiest opponent. So, and I've looked at their schedule, and this is why I'm kind of getting interested in this NL East race, because if Major League Baseball, I think if they went to a straight, hold on, let me just take a look at this. If they went to a straight only the best teams are getting in type of deal, where there's no divisions, no whatever, none of the NL East teams would make it in the playoffs. None of them would be in. That's how bad the NL East is. So the Phillies, who aren't good, they're 54-53 and sit only 1.5 games back of the Mets for the division lead. Like, none of these teams are really good.
Mm-hmm.
They, just based on this and the fact that they'll play the NL East, and they could win this division, and out of the teams, like, I don't mind if the Phillies did it. I hate the Braves. I don't want them to do it. And it's always funny to see the Mets lose. Especially this year. Because this year was like the year of hope for the Mets, right? They got a new owner. They got Lindor. They just traded for Baez. It's like, oh man, these are the New York Mets. They're finding a way. They're finally shedding the laughing stock of baseball type of skin off of them. Right. And yet
they still suck.
They're still the Mets. They're still the New York Mets. Yeah, granted, yes, they don't have Jacob deGrom. That massively hurts. But it's not like they hit for him anyways. He always had one of the worst run support. He literally had to hit for himself to get himself some runs. But it's gonna be pretty funny to see the Mets lose this season out of all seasons, where it seemed like they had the best chance of doing something, or at least making the playoffs, even if they didn't get anywhere, just making the playoffs and going from there. Yeah, so
this was their year. They were going to do anything.
Of course, yeah, and that's the National League East mediocrity doesn't entirely surprise me. I mean, every team from Philadelphia are frauds, and this is where Charles would go, frauds. I can't do it. I can't do the. I can't do it. No, we both can't do it. Yeah, it just doesn't have that same ring to it.
Only Charles can do that.
Yeah, he can only do the frauds and the trash, you know. But this is what we're missing, Charles. If you're gonna listen to this on a replay on the podcast version, so yeah. So Philadelphia, yeah, every team is a fraud. So even if the Phillies do win this division, they're probably gonna get outed immediately in the first round. Especially whoever wins that wild card, whoever comes out of that gauntlet of a division from the National League West is just gonna destroy whoever they face going forward. And only the Brewers are. The Brewers really, I think they're the only legitimate team that can stand up to any of those teams in the NL West. That's my opinion. Let's see. So the Phillies are frauds. I hate the Braves, and the Braves are such pretenders. And I always truly believe anytime they win their division, it's not the fact that they're good, it's just the fact that their division
sucked.
Exactly. Their division sucked. How do you have, now I'm going back to the 90s. How do you have that lineup and that series of great teams and only win one World Series in a shortened season? Really, that's all they could do. That's all they could muster. Every time they faced some type of adversity, they lost to the Yankees, the Marlins, the Blue Jays, the Twins.
At least they won one. Talk about...
Yeah, but it was a shortened season one. We'll add the Mickey Mouse. We'll add the Mickey Mouse moniker to that one.
Though, that's actually funny that you mentioned that, because they used to hold their spring training at Disney, so
yeah,
it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, actually, when they did win, it was in West Palm Beach, so
right,
getting that represent. Do I want to represent the Braves coming from West? Nah, the Expos played there. Yeah, so
I'm just gonna go on a quick other tangent. I hate that everyone has deserted Orlando. I had so much fun going to spring training games when I was younger.
I mean, you know why, right? It's for travel purposes.
Out in the middle of nowhere, relatively speaking.
Yeah, in comparison to everyone else.
Everyone's either on the East Coast or the West Coast.
Yeah, that was part of the trouble, and I'm glad that the Marlins and some teams came to this side, because it was also kind of inconvenient that it was the Marlins and the Cardinals and like the Mets, and that was it. And then the Nationals and the Astros moved on over to here and almost got the Braves to come to Palm Beach County, but they decided to. I forgot what city their spring training complex is in. It's not Sarasota because that's where the Orioles play, but I think it's south of Sarasota. It's between Sarasota and I guess Port Charlotte, where the Rays have their spring training. It's somewhere around that area. So, but yeah, Orlando was just as much as I'm sure the Braves had an amazing facility out there at Disney World.
That was amazing.
It just didn't for them. It wasn't like it just didn't justify the traveling or teams traveling to there. Although, I guess I'm sure it was like a hand in hand like in tandem thing with Disney World, where like, hey, we'll hold spring training games and it'll be the Braves and we'll get all these visiting teams, and so people are coming for vacation to watch spring training their favorite teams like the Yankees or the Phillies or whoever. And hey, might as well take a trip to Disney World while we're watching them play the Braves in spring training, you know?
I mean, that's something that all the players would talk about. Hell, Chipper Jones had a house in Celebration.
Yeah, a lot of guys. No, Ken Griffey Jr. has his home in Orlando, but he was playing with the Mariners. Actually, maybe because I don't know when the Reds changed their spring training complex. Maybe that's like a byproduct of when his dad was playing, where they just like Florida. You know, maybe the Reds had spring training there, or I mean, he was with the Yankees for a bit, his dad. So the Yankees had spring training in
Tampa,
Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, the Yankees didn't move to Tampa until 95 or 96. One of those two seasons. So, or was it 95? Yeah, 95. 90 or 96, 96 actually. 96. It was 96 when they opened. Yeah, 96 was Tampa. Because I just researched this for my post on Marlins Historian when I went to see the MLS game with Doug, is that was the former site of Fort Lauderdale Stadium and Lockhart Stadium. So,
right.
I mean, there's no indication of any of those two buildings there. I didn't even see like a plaque or anything. You would think, right? They would have something to indicate, hey, this used to be, another site, a sports site here. And, hey, Lockhart Stadium, FAU played football games there. And spring training of the New York Yankees of all teams from 1962 to 1995. You would think that there'd be some indication of that history. Come on, Broward County, get it together. Come on, Fort Lauderdale. Sheesh, you guys want to be the big boys and you entice the Panthers to go up there, but yet you guys aren't embracing historical sports landmarks. Even if you tore them down, at least have like a plaque or something. That's all I want to see. A little information, a little something informative there. That's all. Okay? And we don't have much to hang our hats on here, you know? The Dolphins haven't won in close to 50 years. Really, the Heat are the teams that's been the most consistent. And we all know what happened with the Panthers and the Marlins. So there's not much. So at least acknowledge some of the cool stuff from down here, for sure. Yeah. So that's the NL East is gonna go. It's gonna be a really interesting race because it is bad, but it's fun because literally any team. The Marlins are 9.5 games back by virtue of them beating the Mets 2 games into this 4-game series that they're playing right here in Miami, and it's like. I mean, if the Marlins win and sweep the Mets in a 4-game series, they could technically be 7.5 games back, which is like, that's a semi pretty good winning streak away from contending. I just want to see it happen, Andrew. It would just be funny.
And I feel for you guys because you kind of sold You got rid of Marte.
Yeah, we got rid of Adam Duvall too, but essentially they're rentals at that point. We had to get something for those guys.
Mm.
I understood why, and Charles always makes the argument that the Yankees should be planning for 2022 rather than trying to compete this year. And I think the Marlins are full on that train at this moment.
Mm.
I actually was pretty excited to see the guys that they got for Marte and Duvall, because the last two games, the starter that they got from the A's pitched, and he's from Broward County, like he was born and raised there, and so he had his family there. It was pretty cool to see him. It wasn't his major league debut; he already played for the A's, but it was essentially like his homecoming. So that was pretty cool, and he got the win. And then you had this Alex Jackson, who was the catcher that they got from the Braves for Duvall, and he hits his first major league home run yesterday, and the Marlins won as well. So that's kind of exciting to see for me, because it's like, okay, well, there might be some hope for this future. Maybe our Lord and Savior. Well, maybe I shouldn't doubt him. I should not doubt our Lord and Savior. He's going to figure it out, right? He figured out the pitching. We got great pitching. Like, the hitting will come. It will come. It just won't be this year. We just have to be patient. Just have some faith. But your Rays won today against the Mariners. And surprisingly, you guys couldn't handle Seattle all season.
Yeah.
So, and the Mariners are a team that, I like. I like just by virtue, they have the longest playoff drought in North American sports at this moment. And it'd be nice to see them make the playoffs.
Do you know if it's just in a wild card history game. Or...
I don't know if it's like No, it can't be history, because remember Major League Baseball was, for like the longest time, there was only before it was just like whoever won the pennant, like whoever won the whoever won the most games in a season for each respective league, and then they had the league championship series. It was only really two teams facing each other, and then we finally got to like division series. So there were teams that had massive playoff droughts just by virtue of that. In baseball, like in hockey, it was kind of ridiculous. I remember watching the Hockey Guy and talking about how, now there's 32 teams in the NHL, so that means half the teams are making the playoffs now. And how before, when the NHL had like 21 teams, they still had 16-team playoffs. So you had these truly awful teams making the playoffs and just getting spanked by whoever they were facing, because they had no right to be there. And how 32, and maybe we could talk about this, how 32 seems to be like a nice number to sit on. And just like, we don't expand after this. We just kind of sit there for the NHL. The NFL got there first, and now we just got to wait for baseball and basketball to get there. And it seems...
I really like 32. I really like 32. Because
if you add, like, if you begin, like, let's say all of them get to 32, and then you get to the question of, should we expand again? And the question, it would essentially be like, well, if we expand, it has to be like 4 more teams, because it can't just be 33, because that's a weird number to stop on. It can't be 34. That's a weird even number to stop on. Like, it has to be in 4s. So then you get to 36, but then... And then we'd be like, well, then how would you split the divisions from there and the conferences from there, and how many teams would still make the playoffs? So I think 32 is a good number to sit on for all of these, especially where we're at. There's not really many places that kind of can sustain a team at this point that are left that haven't had teams in any of the sports anywhere, right?
Right.
Because... I don't know if you saw. Did you see 5 Points videos?
I didn't.
About expansion.
I saw the first one. I didn't see the second one yet.
So yeah, the first one about expanding. and how it wouldn't happen in Major League Baseball because they. Well, I guess one of the reasons was they haven't really resolved their situation with the A's and the Rays.
Well, that's going to be key.
And he made some good points with regards to how not only is who's the owner of the Rays again?
Sternberg.
Yeah, and I know you hate him.
I hate him with a passion.
He and Major League Baseball. You can throw our buddy Rob Badford in there, or Goon of the Year. Remember from last year. Really, you guys are, or at least Tampa, are gonna be used as a pawn, right?
Absolutely.
To not only try and coerce the Tampa, St. Petersburg, just the Tampa Bay area to somewhere around there pony up the money to build a stadium there, but also entice other cities to, hey, Montreal, you really want Expos 2 or Expos 2? Then, hey, start getting some support. Hey, look, we're building the stadium, or we got the funds for the stadium. Move the team immediately, play in the Olympic Stadium for a season, and then move on in the next year. Like they're gonna be hanging that over. Hey, Nashville, do you really want a team? Build the stadium. We'll easily ship the Rays over there. Hey, Las Vegas, you want the A's to join the Raiders? Then build the stadium, and we'll move them all over. And that's legitimately what's happening right now, and that sucks for you guys. And the Marlins suffered through it a little bit. I mean, they were going, like, looking at San Antonio, looking at Portland. You know, even though I'm sure Major League Baseball had no real intention of, like, if Loria really wanted to move the team, they probably wouldn't have allowed him to do it. I firmly believe that. I firmly believe there was no way Major League Baseball could just lose the market of Miami. Because it's just way too big to not have a team there. And move them to a smaller market like San Antonio or something. Even though San Antonio is, I guess, big, but not really big.
But I mean, look at what's going on with Buffalo, the Buffalo Bills. They're threatening to move to fucking Austin, Texas.
Yeah. I thought they got funding for their stadium.
There is nothing in Austin except for good barbecue and the Texas Longhorns.
Oh, did you see Freddie's message there?
No.
He said Marble runs on ESPN 8 tonight. Or the Ocho.
Oh, is the Ocho tonight? Sweet.
Yeah. So, hey, Freddie. How you doing? Sorry, what did you say? Now I lost the train of thought.
I mean, I have nothing against Austin. I have friends that live in Austin.
Oh, yeah, the Bills.
But there is nothing in Austin except for the Longhorns and extremely good barbecue.
And they've got a pretty good entertainment scene now, too. That's what I've heard.
That's true. You have South by Southwest. But
yeah,
compared to Tampa or maybe not Oakland, but definitely, well, Oakland's in the Bay Area, so compared to those, there's not much going on in Austin.
Yeah.
And I hope my friends don't hear this because they'll probably shoot me for saying that.
Austin, Texas, competing with the Longhorns.
And there is not a chance in hell of them competing with the Longhorns. None. Zero. Zilch. Nada.
I'm just thinking of it like is football. I mean, heck, the Houston Oilers moved out of Texas, so it's not like a guarantee that Texas is always going to work, right?
Well,
I'm just saying, like, a guarantee that an Austin team is going to be successful. I mean, the Bills are a good team right now.
They are.
So if you're going to move them now, you got to move them now if you want some success to immediately start. Because, heck, a successful professional team, and yeah, then they could, I guess, entice people to go see them more than the Longhorns, because Longhorns haven't done anything in a while. But that's hard.
I don't care. I don't care if they win the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. They will not overtake the Longhorns.
That's almost like saying the New Orleans Saints would overtake LSU, because that's not happening either.
Except worse, because LSU isn't even in New Orleans.
Oh yeah, and I mean, because if anybody's been to Louisiana, LSU is everywhere. I went to the middle of nowhere in Louisiana, and there was LSU stuff all over the place. I didn't see Saints stuff. I barely saw Saints stuff. And they won the Super Bowl, and they had Drew Brees and all those. The Saints have been a good team for a while now. But there was LSU stuff everywhere. And this is before they had won a recent national championship. But it's more ingrained than the Saints. And the Saints have been a team for a while, too. They've been a bad team for a while.
Since the 70s, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they were a bad team for a while. It wasn't really the Drew Brees period was their only real moment of success, but
it does not matter.
Yeah.
The Bills or whatever team would go to Austin,
it's
futile. Never.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah, it's almost like we will never go to McDonald's to get the BTS meal because it's been a while and none of us have gotten it to try it out. So we're sorry, McDonald's. I promise you, we don't hate you. We don't. All right, I like your breakfast. I don't really frequent McDonald's much, but I like the breakfast in comparison to the other places. And maybe it's nostalgia speaking, because I always remember every time we went to Disney World, and we were heading out in the morning, whatever, we would go to McDonald's to get the McDonald's breakfast.
Right.
It was it was pretty much traditional at that point. So maybe it's that nostalgia, and that's why I like the McDonald's breakfast just slightly more than a Burger King breakfast. I haven't tried Wendy's breakfast at all, neither Taco Bell. I don't know, eating Taco Bell breakfast kind of scares me. I know I'm not getting into heaven, but I definitely am not getting into heaven if I eat Taco Bell for breakfast. Oh, boy. Yeah, the Bills relocating. I mean...
They would be insane to do that. I've seen pretty bold-faced attempts to try and convince a city to pay up. I don't think I've ever seen one that ridiculous. At least Montreal has had a baseball team before. At least Las Vegas has sports teams now that are succeeding.
Yeah.
At least Oklahoma City showed that they could support a basketball team in the wake of Katrina.
Right.
It's one thing if they were to put a different sport in Austin, it might work.
Yeah, like the NHL or the NBA, right? We've seen the NBA's really the NHL. Their big thing is all the Canadian teams, right? And then the NBA is they're in Portland, they're in San Antonio, they're in Utah. That's whereas Major League Baseball and the NFL are really, for the most part, just stick to the big cities, right?
Right.
The big cities that we just think of when you think United States. I think really NFL is. I think the real outlier is I mean Buffalo is one of them, that's for sure. And because Jacksonville, that's another one. That's a big outlier. And aside from that, it's everything's kind of like, oh yeah, Houston, I expect that. Dallas, yeah, for sure. Arizona, Miami, Tampa, New York. Finally, LA. Now they got 2 teams there, but
Right.
and then San Francisco, and then and Vegas is their new ploy. But Austin, Texas. I mean, have you talked to, or has there been any like talk of like RCFB about that from like any Texas people with regards
That's
to like
not really within the purview of RCFB talking
it's out
about
of their jurisdiction. Yeah, but I'm just trying to gauge the interest.
There would be no interest
because I'm just thinking, all right, the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, not only do they permeate the United States, but they definitely permeate Texas by a long shot, right?
and we're not, and that's not even. You're right. We're not even talking about having the Cowboys.
Yeah, the Cowboys, and then really the Texans are Houston. You know, it's that. But
Houston will always play second fiddle to
Dallas. Right. And an Austin team, the Austin Bills. Even just saying that sounds weird, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that just sounds weird. It's almost like they would have to like change their name, like the Oilers did when they moved to Tennessee, or actually they didn't immediately change it, but a couple seasons later they did change it because they had to. Like, it seems that way. Oh, we didn't even talk about the Cleveland Guardians last episode. We have to talk about that.
We got to talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's move on to that. Because we can keep talking about this and how, but yeah, I do not like the idea of the Austin Bills. Ugh.
Yeah.
That just, I mean, what? Okay, I guess slight kind of. If we had to, like, let's say the NFL handed us the Buffalo Bills, like, you know what, you guys are moving to Austin regardless. I'm like, okay, but you guys come up with a name and logo, whatever. I'm like, okay, what do we name the Austin team,
Well,
the Austin Stevens.
Well, I would say I would go along. What am I saying? I would try to go with another alliteration. I figure if Buffalo Bills, try and find an A somewhere.
That's hard.
Austin, well, not antelopes, but
I just
Austin
love that
Armadillos.
Charles mustache that just popped up on the right-hand corner. Get the tank, everybody.
Austin Armadillos.
Huh. That's a good one. The the both similar sounding A's, right? Armadillos are in Texas. It matches football with the armor and stuff, right? Oh, that's really good. I can't top that. I can't. I'm sure. I mean, the only thing I would say is they'll probably do something stupid and militaristic, like the Austin Armory or something like that, you know?
Yeah, I could see that.
But the mascot could be an armadillo regardless. Yeah, armadillo sounds really good. I'd be into that. If I had a minor league baseball team in Austin, Texas, that's what I would name them. For sure. The Armadillos. Yeah, I can't top that. You win, Andrew. You win. You are now the owner of the Buffalo Bills, and you will now relocate them to Austin. And just like, if there's one thing I know for sure, is that we'll be back before the Longhorns are back. Jab.
That is
especially in the SEC now.
Yeah, they're doomed.
But they have so much money to compete. Like, I feel like they could find a way. If they could pay their way through. They could pay their way back into like getting the best coaches and the best whatever.
There's only
No,
so much you can do.
there's
I
only so much
mean,
money you can throw at a problem. All
I
right,
mean, there was a I don't know, congresswoman. I don't
did they
know
pass
what she was.
legislation to try and get the Longhorns to be better?
Um, but this woman, there was uh, a hearing in the Texas government or whatever, talking about the future of college sports in Texas. And this woman, she was a graduate of TCU, asked the Texas president or Texas athletic director, I don't remember exactly, asked him what was their athletics, what was Texas athletic budget in a year. He said 225 million. And she said, and you still went 3-7 against 3-9 against TCU.
Woo! Oh, burn, baby, burn.
And TCU is not that great. They're okay.
Oh.
And then she followed it up later on and said, so I guess Texas fans would rather lose to Alabama than TCU.
Ooh. Oh, man. Ooh. Damn, this get the Ron Burgundy picture up right now. Charles always uses on our group chat. Oh man. Oh, that's awesome. Did they record that? Is there a video of that?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Oh, that is public record, everybody.
But yeah, it's going to take a long time. It's going to take a lot of effort for Texas to be anything anytime soon.
Any type of anything. All right, so let's get out of this. Let's head on over to the I guess one of the big announcements for baseball. It's the Cleveland Guardians. So we didn't talk about it last week, and we didn't get any of our opinions. I would like to hear what Charles would have to say, but the Cleveland, the team formerly known as the Cleveland Indians right now, they announced, was it last season when they announced that they were going to change their name? So, and of course, there's the big controversy with regards to the team name, because it's uses a very non-flattering Native American imagery, which of course Chief Wahoo has been discontinued by the team for a few seasons now. But they're still the Indians, which is, of course, is not correct when you think about it from an ethnic standpoint, because Native Americans are not Indians. They were just mistakenly called by Indians by the Europeans who got here and thought they were in India, but they are not Indians.
Thanks, Chris Columbus.
Yeah. So Cleveland adopted the team name of Indians, and I don't know what their entire naming history is, but I don't think they've been the Indians for their entire history. I'm not sure. I have to look. But there have been other teams in Cleveland that have had different names, and one of them that actually, let me see. He usually Chris Kramer's
I will never
website
forgive Cleveland for not going with the Spiders.
Yeah, that's one of the historical names in the past, right? The Cleveland Spiders. And people have had their mock-ups of the logo and the hat logo that could have been paired with it. There's some amazing ones using the current Block C as like the I guess one of the abdomens of the spider and all that stuff. It looks great. It looks fantastic, but they didn't go with it. They instead went with the name Guardians. So they kept the DNs from the Indians name and added Gar to it.
It's just so bland.
Right? Like
so unimaginative.
Like meh. It's a meh type of name. And look, and I'm trying to pull up the logo and stuff from Chris Creamer's website, but like the Indians have had some pretty okay looks. I thought some of their stuff from like the 70s looked pretty cool. With their red uniforms, the kind of crooked C, all that stuff. I thought those were pretty cool looking. And the Block C was, for the most part, like very generic and temporary, right? They knew that they've been working towards this, eliminating Chief Wahoo from the hats, then eliminating him from the sleeve of the jersey, then eliminating him as the primary logo. This has been years in the making. They've been slowly prepping the people of Cleveland for this.
Right.
So it just seemed like I guess they really didn't want to go with spiders, because I guess there's some historicals. Like I think one of the Cleveland Spiders teams is probably one of the worst teams to ever play baseball.
The only reason I can think that they wouldn't want to go with spiders is because arachnophobia.
Yeah, but I mean, there's some other phobia. Like some people are scared of bears and certain other things, right?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make entirely too much sense, does it? But they're gone with Guardians.
It was there for the taking.
Yeah, they've gone with Guardians, and...
But wait, there's more.
Yeah, okay.
Have you seen what controversy they've gotten into?
What, with the Guardians name now?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a Marvel thing?
No.
Okay, good. Guardians of the Galaxy.
There's already a team called the Cleveland Guardians.
Really? Are they... What are they, like a lacrosse team or something?
It's an amateur roller derby team.
Oh, they could buy that out. Come on now.
But, man, does the roller derby team have the baseball team by the cojones? Because
they don't want to let it go. Or they really want it? They want a ton of money. You know,
basically, it'll just be name your price.
Yeah, or they'll probably be like, we want royalties or something for each sale of whatever merchandise, right? You sell a hat with the Guardians name or whatever, the Guardians logo, then, we get a cut of that. And feed our kids and our grandkids and our great-grandkids for future on end. Kind of like the San Antonio Spurs situation.
Apparently, there's already a possibility that they'll still be going to the courts.
Oh, we'll see. Well, this will be interesting. I guess trademark, IP law stuff popping up here.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Well, for now, they are tentatively going to be called the Cleveland Guardians.
Ugh,
and
so stupid.
The Cleveland Guardians, and look, I why does this thing always freeze when I do this? I think it's the browser, but I'm trying to lower this. There we go. Will it not that's Chris Creamer's website. Well, there's the script mark, and I'll try and pull up the other one. So they got the Guardian script, which doesn't look too... I mean, it looks more...
I have no problem with the logos, especially the Guardians word mark. I think, as much as I hate the name Indians, the Indians word mark is classy. It is classic. I love it. One of my favorite movies growing up was Major League. Mm-hmm. And, that is just such an iconic logo. I have no qualms with the logo set, except maybe for the one that's the wing G.
Yeah, that's the only one that... Everything else seems like, okay, that's all right, very generic. I get that. The C, the block C, they've kind of created a different version of it to look slightly different. It's like, okay, that's fine. They got the Cleveland script, which isn't bad either. The Guardians, it's like, okay, it's very baseball-y look to it, a little kind of like derivative of their current script font, but just a little more blocky, different style. But yeah, that G with the wings and the baseball is not good. That's not a good logo.
That is not a good logo.
From a design standpoint, it's not a good logo.
You know your design standpoint.
Okay, for me, and this is, and I understand the significance of the Guardian's name, and I like where they were going with it with regards to inspiration, right? Looking around the city. With regards to the Guardians of Transportation, which is also kind of sounds stupid, but hey, I guess it. Like I understand where they got the wings from, because it's the wings on these big giant Guardian guys over there, and it's right across from the stadium on this big giant bridge. But this logo's design is not good. Not good. It's not even that sharp. It's there's just a gah to it. Like it's almost like, oh, you want to say it's for a minor league teams, but I don't want to say that either, because there's some minor league teams that have really sharp logos, really nice logos.
I'll be honest. That's bad even for a minor league logo.
Exactly. That's what I mean. It looks like the baseball looks like clip art that they took from something else.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just like a very generic type of thing. And the G is going with the kind of like the blocky script that they have for like the Guardians in the script logo. And then they have the wings, which look very plain and not very sharp looking. I know they're supposed to like mimic the ones that they have on the statues here. Mm-hmm. I feel like if I were to change this, I'd get rid of the baseball. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't be 3D anymore. I'd just make it 2D. Just from its side, just the G with the wings in the back, and that's it. And maybe sharpen up those wings to look like, I don't know, a little. It looks too soft to me. I want some edge to it in a way. I want some edge to it, but the 3D type of look, it doesn't work in this. It really does not work at all. Or, I mean, you could have got, like, if you wanted, like, this, you could have incorporated the head of this guy, right? It could have just been his head. Like the Ottawa Senators logos, where it's the senator from the side and you have the big wings and whatever. It could have looked something akin to that. And there's already a concept here that somebody has. Look, I just thought of that right now, but somebody's already tried it out. And this isn't too bad either, right? Do you see it? Maybe slightly more simplified, a little more, I don't know, angular, I would say. But I don't mind this one in comparison to what we got, which is that. And then, I mean, other people have tried other things here. We've got this one here. That one's not bad either. Like, if you had to go with, I think this would have, like, if you wanted to show off a Guardian, then show off a Guardian. Don't just put a G with the baseball. Nobody knows what the hell that means.
Right.
It's meaningless. Different colors couldn't have hurt either. Yeah, Freddie, the Indians, I mean, yeah, they had a lot of opportunity to do something different, right? Because how many teams are navy, red, and white? There's so many. There's way too many. And I just did on Marlins history. I have this thing called Wrong Team Tuesday, where I'll post pictures of former players or teams or guys that that were formerly Marlins, wearing uniforms of different teams. So I just posted one of Starling Marte with the Oakland A's. And somebody commented like, hey, he actually looks pretty good in an A's uniform. I'm like, yeah, because the A's uniforms are amazing. The green, the yellow / gold, whatever you want to call it, and white. I mean, that combination of colors just pops. Whether you use the current green that they use or the Kelly green, either one, like, it just pops. Those colors just work together. Like, it's only beaten by teal and black. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You know, that's that. The Indians could have done something else. Because, I mean, the color schemes of the teams in their cities. So you only have really, like, if you want to go with the Major League sports, the Cleveland Browns, who wear orange and brown and black and whatever. And then you have the Cleveland Cavaliers, who wear like what is it, a burgundy and yellow and gold, whatever. Like, those are pretty unique in sports. And their baseball team uses the generic thing. I know they've been using those colors for I don't know how many years, but you've already changed the name from something that's been there for quite a long time. They haven't won the World Series in a long time. I mean, just hey, if you're gonna switch it up, maybe switch it up completely. Just do the whole shebang.
I mean, it reminds me, as I keep harping on, about how Tampa should incorporate, the Lightning should incorporate more black.
Yeah.
Because they look like the Toronto Red Wings or the Detroit Maple Leafs.
Like, even this one, did you see this one with the C with this? I mean, and maybe that looks good. And it, for those, certain individuals, it kind of looks like an Indian if you're really pissed off that they're changing it, Mm-hmm. But it looks like the Guardians dudes as well. I mean, you got this one here. And they could have done better. And heck, there was a New York Guardians in the, is this the XFL or the AA? Oh no, it's the XFL team. Oh, that might get played out in the court thing. They might pop this out as an example. Hey, there was a New York Guardians. They didn't have an issue. The XFL, Vince McMahon's not calling us right now to complain. Maybe the lawyers will say that. But heck, even this line has the little streaks on the side here. You could have just changed that into a human head and boom. And to look like the statues right here, and you could have like even the amateur, or I mean, hey, they might be pros. They're probably pros. Like people, professionals, but that are not from Major League Baseball or Cleveland Indians or gosh darn, I already said the Indians. See, that's gonna take a little bit, mm-hmm. Or the or I guess Nike. They might be helping out with this, but that design is not good. It's no bueno. It's just not good. It's gosh, when was the last logo change for a Major League team? The Marlins? I guess it was the Marlins that I can think of that was drastic. That was like a change to the primary, I think it was the Marlins.
Was in 2019.
No, in 2019.
What was in 2019?
The current Marlins look.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah. I think it was, because I can't think of another team that was changing. And look, I like the Marlins' current look. I just think that just put it in teal, black, and silver with a little bit of orange, and it'll look fantastic. That's all. Nobody would complain. Or you could just go back to what it was, and everybody will be happy. Especially me. Okay, well, the Cleveland Guardians are getting spanked by the Toronto Blue Jays right now. So no matter what they look like or what you call them, they're getting spanked right now. Oh, boy. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Just not a fan right now. No. All right, so Starship Enterprise vibes. Did you see that?
Yeah, I'm trying to get rid of that
Why?
because my sister posted it, not me.
Oh no, but that's funny. It also looks like the Enterprise. Oh gosh. All right, so where are we? We are so far. Oh, we're an hour in, dude. That you know what that means?
Non-sponsor time.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just flip that. Get that graphic going. So people, places, things, concepts, what have you, that we've been enjoying over the past week. Andrew, what have you been enjoying over the past week?
Uh, can you go first?
Can I go first? All right. So, oh man, let me get actually sit up for this. I'm laying down in bed while I'm doing this show. Oh gosh. Oh man. So, right now, it's kind of been doing a lot of like self improvement and all that type of stuff. That's kind of been my thing lately, but I do need to start watching my physical health a lot more. I'm getting older, Andrew. I am. It's not good right now. Like the creaking, the just getting up, like it is getting bad. It is getting bad, and I don't like this. I don't like it, but I can't help it. It's gonna happen. So I just got to get better at it. And so recently, I was afflicted with the plantar fasciitis or whatever.
Ooh, okay.
I mean, I didn't get it completely diagnosed or whatever, but it just, I couldn't really walk well. I'd been running a little too hard, just pushing myself too much, trying to get faster and faster, and it just wasn't going good. So, thanks to the internet and stuff, I've been finding ways to try to help me out. I changed my shoes, went back to an older pair of shoes that were more durable. My non-sponsor goes to these soles that I bought. So I bought these on Amazon. So our overlord Jeff Bezos got more money from me. But let me look at them. Actually, we're just gonna go Amazon right now. Okay, and we'll look for it from here. So I bought these from the Easy Feet store. But so that's who my non-sponsor is. So Easy Feet. Where is Arch Support Insoles? Let's just put the ones for men here. So here they are, right here. That's the first one. So Arch Support Insoles for men and women, shoe inserts, orthotics, flat feet, whatever, running, athletic gel shoe insoles. That's what I got. Bought them, my size, stuck them into my shoes, replaced the old soles with the new ones. And through just being careful with the way, with how hard I'm walking and stuff like that, doing stretches, doing massages, and wearing these to support my walking, I'm getting better. I'm getting much better. So, wasn't expecting a Sonic Unleashed cameo tonight. You know, Freddy, I've got the Xbox 360 right now, and I haven't played the 360/PS3 version of that game. And Sega refuses to release it on PC. So I might actually buy that off of eBay. I was looking on Amazon to see if they had like a new copy of it, but I guess Sega hasn't printed it in like 13 years, which is understandable. So I might just buy that just to play it through it and just have it in my collection. Just because I'm getting rid of a lot of my massive collection doesn't mean I'm not going to have a collection. I will have a collection. I just will learn to unload them when I need to make the most money. Now it's become a business and investment venture for me. So anyways, back to this. Andrew, this was it this? Yeah, it was this week. This week I actually ran, like truly ran, for the first time in a while using these orthotics, and it took a little bit, maybe half a mile in. It hurt. It hurt a little bit, but it was just me working through it, massages, stretches, all that stuff, and I was good to go from there. After that, no pain whatsoever, and even now, no pain. Like it was getting bad. I would be laying in bed, and my feet were sore, and I wasn't doing anything. So that it's really affected me, and I haven't been able to exercise, which of course will affect the metabolism. I'm trying to fight that. So thanks to these, I'm able to walk normally, and I'm getting back to on that road to recovery. And then they're gonna stay in those shoes for a while now. So thank you. Easy Feet for your product. I read the reviews, tons of reviews on there. They got 21,000 ratings, 4.5 stars. I made sure to read and research it. I didn't want to just buy any old thing and stick them in my shoes and then ruin my feet even further. So I wasn't going to do that. But thanks to these, I'm walking normally again. And you really don't get it until your feet really, really hurt. And it's like, I can't walk normally. I just, like, no matter what other shoes I was wearing, I was like, this, I can't, I'm not moving fast enough. And then now I'm virtually almost pain free. There's still a little bit of soreness, but I think that'll just work itself out soon enough, and I'll start working my way back to truly like really running and jogging at the pace that I was going at before I got hurt. So promo code Foot Fetish.
Okay, wow. All right.
Oh man.
Okay. Wow, I was not expecting that.
I was stalling towards the end trying to think of one. I'm like, I'll just go with this one.
Alrighty.
Oh man.
I mean, I don't kink shame, but
no.
All right.
It's 2021.
My non-sponsor is the Amazon Fire Stick.
Oh, more money for our overlord.
I know.
Okay.
But it is it has been a worthwhile investment. Don't get me wrong. It opens up the world to
turns your dumb TV into a smart TV.
Precisely. I've got Netflix on there, Hulu, Disney Plus, ESPN, you name it, it's on there. And it's really made watching TV very more interesting now because I don't really have cable. Got a few channels that came with my internet package, but I don't watch cable. So this is my way of staying connected with the shows that I know and love.
Yeah,
I would highly recommend it. You don't have to get the full shebang. Any one will really work, to be honest. And
I mean, it's not that expensive. It's a brand
really
new one. It's
$40
just for a brand new one.
Yeah, it is. It's really not that expensive at all. Yeah, I can't recommend it highly enough. And then there are other, shall we say, not possibly legal.
Oh, means?
There are alternate means, shall we say, of watching certain
programs and events.
Programming, especially sports. There are different means, and I won't say what they are because I don't want to get in trouble. But these means do exist, and those are also very beneficial to have.
I've seen these You know, from afar. I think I know what you mean. You know, just sometimes you just want to watch the Vancouver Canucks,
Yep.
and they're not visiting the Florida Panthers. So, how else are you gonna watch them? I get you. I understand, for sure. Okay. So yeah, man, the fire. I have the Fire TV, so it's basically, hey, it's the stick but built into the TV, right?
Right.
So that's what I have. That's what I'm using. That's what I'm watching right now to do this show, and it's great. It's amazing. It's so convenient. This little control is really convenient. It's very simple to use. It's got the buttons here. I got Prime Video, Netflix, HBO. I can just click that and it'll go immediately to that thing. I have a PlayStation View button. That's how old this one is. I have a PlayStation View button on mine when Sony used to do that, when it was their streaming service that they had. So PlayStation View, you can't do that no more. What does this do, actually? Hold on, let me click this, see what it does now that it's dead. Oh, no, it just takes me to the live TV section. All right, that's a good thing to put it in. I can just watch stuff. But yeah, it's easy to. There's so many ways to get free TV shows with legitimate means. Like you got Pluto TV, which was a non-sponsor that Charles has talked about. You got was it Fubo? That's another one.
Fubo.
Yeah, you got that. There's IMDb has it. I think that's owned by Amazon, so they've got a ton of free shows and movies too.
And I like it. The problem is there are so many streaming services out there. You can't possibly.
You'll never keep. Yeah, you can't keep up.
You can't keep up, and you can't pay for them all. It's unless you're Jeff Bezos.
So yeah, that's the issue right now, right? People cutting cable, but then they got to decide. All right, which of these things am I going to buy?
Because you've got, I mean, luckily there's a partnership between Disney and Hulu.
Yeah.
You have a bundle which is Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus.
Yep.
So that saves you money. It saves you like $3 or $4 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got Netflix, which is for your basic amount is like $16 a month. Last time I remember. Then you've got Hulu. And there's no overlap on these things.
Yeah.
And as it comes to live TV, Hulu's an option.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got YouTube TV.
Yeah. ESPN Plus. For sports,
but ESPN Plus is only for sports. I'm talking about
just in general stuff,
right?
Yeah, you have
but
Sling.
ESPN Plus, but YouTube TV also has some sports on it,
right?
But you could easily spend over $100 a month
on subscriptions
alone.
Yeah.
And
how much more are you saving from getting an actual cable package in that case,
And I mean, to some extent, it might be worth it because for $100, you're getting much more than you would on a standard cable package. A standard cable package won't have Netflix or Hulu. But the whole point of cutting the cord is to save money.
Right.
So the problem is that $100, is it going to go to a bunch of streaming services or is it going to go to your cable? I don't know.
Yeah.
So these alternate methods will continue to exist while these streaming services continue to just be so damn expensive.
Yeah, well, they try and figure something. I mean, sheesh. Like, right now, and I guess we'll go off on this tangent because why not? Like, what I use at the moment, and this is in tandem with what I piggyback off of, like, family members, which is kind of kind of the sweet thing that I have. Like my sister and my brother-in-law, you know, they 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 have Xfinity, so they have a cable package and all that stuff. They have Xfinity, and I piggyback off of that, so I can watch it with my Amazon TV because there's an Xfinity app, and you can watch some things that are live TV with just that or the phone. Like the NBA Finals, I watched the NBA Finals like that, so that was pretty cool. I Netflix, the same thing. Pay off of that, so I got Netflix, and then Amazon is just me. I pay for that myself, so that's. But I guess the Amazon stuff is kind of like I dig it because I get the Prime videos and you get the fast free shipping, and I also get the video games. So it's kind of been working out for me with regards to that. So that's and yeah, and the Twitch subscription. You also get Twitch subscription with it, like it's the premium one. So all that works out for me. But aside from that, I don't feel the need to get I definitely don't feel the need to get Peacock. Charles gets it because it's WWE. We know that. Like ESPN,
I mean, I will say this about Peacock: if you have Comcast Xfinity already, then it's free.
Oh crap! Then I have to download that because my sister has it, so I'll get that. But even then, there's not much on NBC that I want to watch. So, all the shows like 30 Rock and all that's all gone. I ain't watching that. And then there's there's CBS. I'm not watching nothing on that. There's a CBS one. Was it the Paramount? Whatever. It's Paramount TV.
Well, it's now Paramount Plus.
Yeah, Paramount Plus.
And it's CBS,
Nickelodeon.
It's got movies. It's got whoever the hell still watches MTV.
Yeah.
You can go watch it there.
Yeah. Then there's HBO Max, which I guess is if I were to get something, that'd probably be the one that would entice me to get it.
Right.
Because of there's the massive selection. They have all the DC stuff and Godzilla and all that stuff that I like.
And then that's another thing about these streaming services. My family and I really only watch one thing on HBO.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's one of the things I was discussing with a friend of mine. She was like she and a lot of people are doing this. They're let's say a particular show is on that you want to watch, like Disney Plus. Okay, you want to watch the Star Wars stuff, right? Like Mandalorian, right. And that they come out with a season of it, and maybe you can wait, and you're not that big on getting spoiled or whatever. You can avoid spoilers. So you wait until the whole season is over, and then you order it, you watch it for a month, you have it for a month, and then you end your subscription after that month. And you watch whatever you wanted to watch on Disney Plus, because by that point there are movies and stuff that have been added to it that you can watch within a month. And it wouldn't be that bad. And then you stop, and that's it. I mean, there's so much other stuff to kind of keep you entertained. I mean, for me, I don't really watch TV shows much. I'm watching stuff on Netflix or on Amazon Prime, but I'm not watching much. I'm mostly focused on the video games and stuff and sports. That's it. That's what gets me off. All right, not just the plantar fasciitis soles that I stick in my feet, in my shoes. Oh boy. Okay, so yeah, Amazon Fire, and Freddie's got a couple there, actually. ESPN Fantasy Basketball and Hockey back for 2021-22, and those are his non-sponsors. So we know Freddie. We know he loves his fantasy sports. He's all about that. I can't get into it. The only fantasy sports that I play are video games. That's the most that I can get into. And we'll see if Charles takes the plunge back into NFL. Or are you going to take the plunge back into the NFL, Andrew?
Probably.
Fantasy football. Because if there's one thing, I know Charles has kind of said like he wouldn't go back, but I kind of want him to, just so we can get his like weekly his besos, who gets the big kisses on the lips every week. Because that was always a fun segment to hear from you guys about who did best for you guys on your fantasy teams, or who really pooped the bed. Oh man. Okay, well, that's it from the word from the non-sponsors. Let's see. I think I had something. Well, I had some leftover small segments in the past from last episode that we didn't get to, but I just want to go like an Olympic update. Did you anything that catch your eyes in the Olympics, Andrew, over this past week?
Well, I'm watching skateboarding right now.
Okay.
Which is cool. I think it's their first year in the Olympics.
Yeah.
I watched fencing a little bit, and again, well, first off, I hate Comcast. The only reason I have them is out of necessity because they're the only cable provider and internet provider in the area.
Yep.
And even then, they're prone to outages. I mean, that's why I had to take the bar exam at your office.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got that. But when it comes to the Olympics, you can't find anything. It's impossible to find any sort of sports. And as someone mentioned on Twitter, and it's absolutely true, the Olympics are the one time every...
Can we spin this into a Gottlieb's Goons? Because that sounds very Goonish. They've had 4, and people complain about their coverage of the Olympics every 4 or 2 years. Like the Winter Olympics and the Summer Olympics. So I think we can do that, right? Let's
do we
make
have
them
a Charles on the line?
I was about to say every 3 years.
Hey now.
Hello.
So yeah, inadvertent last minute Gottlieb Goon, I suppose, is NBC, because as someone mentioned on Twitter, and I didn't really think about it, but I absolutely agree, the Olympics, and I'm grouping in Winter Olympics here, the Olympics are the one time every 2 years in a normal scenario. This was odd because we're going to have a Winter Olympics next year, but you get my point here. The Olympics is the one time every 2 years that you're going to care about curling or épée fencing or equestrian, or what's another winter sport?
Bobsled.
Bandy.
Yeah.
Bandy or
bobsledding,
luge, or skeleton, or
heck, figure skating,
or for summer, swimming. No one gives a shit about swimming except for the Olympics.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can't find any of these little...
You would think
the Olympics are the ESPN 8 of
the world.
Actual sport.
Yeah. You would think that it'd be something simple, right? Like if they're, I don't know.
I feel like this validates my whole opinion that the Olympics don't matter and we should all stop watching.
I highly disagree. I love the Olympics.
I feel like it's just they need a better UI. It's almost like...
Hey, remember the weird Xbox UI? Well, we made a 360. Now it's more awesome.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Oh God, I was looking at because I hadn't played the Xbox 360 in like a decade or whatever since, and I was playing that, and I'm like, wait, where's the curves and all that stuff that used to... Oh, that was changed a long time ago. Well then, so it shows you how much I played my Wii. Way back when. Oh boy. So yeah, you would think it'd be something like, it's simple, right? You have the NBC Sports app or Peacock or what have you, and just like, yeah, I want to watch some Greco-Roman wrestling. I need to get off. So just click that, and there it is, Or get an update on your phone. Hey, it just started.
I am normally not one for getting a streaming service just for 2 seconds. But if there were a streaming service where for the 1 month of the Olympics, it would almost be like a month-long pay-per-view.
Yeah, like 24/7, just whatever's going down. That's what's going down.
I would invest in that. I would absolutely invest in that.
Yeah, and you just click, hey.
I would pay the $30 or whatever.
Yeah, you have the selection of the sports all right there. Hold on, let me go on the NBC Sports app on my phone. Because
right now, I'm on the Peacock app on my Amazon Fire.
Mm-hmm. Is Peacock even broadcasting the Olympics?
Kind of.
Which is really bad to say that it's kind of. It should be. Yeah, definitely.
You can't even it's $5 a month, and you can't even sell it for the Olympics as the main show. Instead, you get suckers like me watching the Harry Potter collection to go to sleep, and then wrestling.
No, you're supposed
that should be your forefront.
They're trying to get you to get the NBC Sports app and get you to watch it on there.
Well,
that's what they're trying to do. Where it's kind of convoluted and complicated. Like right now, on the NBC Sports app, they have it like NBC Primetime Olympic Sports, whatever. I don't know what. I guess that's like a highlight show. And then the skateboarding, and then they just have track and field coverage, which is, I guess, just track and field coverage. It's
all over the place. You gotta.
Yeah, if you have a normal cable thing and you have to go to USA and figure out where that is and stuff, and
let's
canoe,
say
kayak sprint finals,
or let's say, Charles, I'm going to bring you in here.
Okay.
You've got Peacock, but it has the added bonus of the WWE network
without paying extra. That's the key condition.
If something that would be smart for NBC to do is ditch the NBC Sports package and just say, okay, for extra whatever a month, you get access to NBC Sports. Instead, you have to pay a separate amount of money.
But, the thing is that you would want that, but then you get I'll give you an example, Paramount Plus. That was the big switch over from CBS All Access to everything.
Right.
I don't have to pay anything additional to watch SEC football, really, or any of the college stuff that's on CBS itself. I want to watch the prime time stuff. So you have to see who your base is, because casual viewers are still kind of casually view the Olympics, and I think they're going to get stuck to the word of mouth of what they should watch. Anything gymnastics, because they're fake Simone Biles people, fans. Frauds, you're all fickle, y'all frauds. Go Simone, we still got you.
Oh, say the frauds, Charles, because me and Andrew tried it and we couldn't do it.
Frauds.
You see?
Frauds. Trash. Okay, so I'll give you frauds and trash in the Olympics. ROC, trash. How could you be the Russian Olympic Committee and still kind of sneak it through? That makes no sense to me.
Oh, yeah. I hate that.
What can I say bigotry? What bigotry is this to every other country that's been exploited, but you can come in?
As if, that really matters to Russia. Oh, they don't have the actual Russian flag on there, but they're still our guys, and they're still going to go back to Moscow and have the big giant parade and with Putin. That's still going to happen, so they still won whatever medals that they're going back with. It doesn't hurt. If you truly just they can't compete. Just say they can't compete. Oh, but that would be unfair to the athletes. Well, that's what it sucks for you that you're Russian. Okay? It just sucks for you. It sucks for you that they were trying to cheat, all right?
Sometimes, congratulations.
I bet Rob Manfred made that decision. I don't know.
Welcome to normal society where, the society itself will fall because of several selfish individuals.
There we go.
Plain and simple. Except this time it hits a whole country. It's I'm just gonna put it in my godly room, the whole Olympics committee, between people complaining about Simone, fan base, and the actual thing commission. People complaining about the IOC. People complaining about I forgot which country it was, and their sportswear. And then you got the whole runner situation. I think her last name was Richardson. You know what? Screw you guys. This is why I don't need the Olympics. I hope your viewings suck. I hope you get canceled unless you make it really cool. Bring back Olympic boxing. There you go. But going back to, you're going to have casual viewers watching casual sports. But I know they have it. I mean it to be interesting to me.
Oh.
That's all I'm going on. I'm just saying, it's different when you had Olympic Floyd Mayweather and Olympic Mike Tyson. And now I'm like, I don't know these guys.
For the big boys.
For the big
going
boys.
there. Yeah, Muhammad Ali, all those guys were.
Giving a shout out to my guy Dan Raphael. Follow us on Twitter FJOJ. Well, you're not that anymore. Charles the True, Anthony Hola, Sports Goofs. Used to be the boxing.
Maybe I should check to change it back because this is.
Or give me something to work with because I can't just like evolving and then emojis.
Pokemon.
And hey, I have a question for you
Bulbasaur
guys.
Master.
I have a question for you guys. And Freddie, if you're here, whoever's watching, I have a question for you too. Do eSports belong in the Olympics?
We would lose to South Korea all the time. Put on StarCraft, it's game over.
Yeah,
it's not even competition. Francisco and I used to like pair up against dudes, in Japan against Splatoon, and it wouldn't happen, man.
Yeah,
the only time I would feel like we have a chance is in Mario Kart because there's always blue turtle shell.
Yeah, exactly.
Esports is such a wide definition because yes, it does touch international communities and everything like that. Sure, I mean it was basically, it has been, I'm gonna say right now, hot take, it's been the real modern day Olympics. Actually brings what I think the Olympics was supposed to bring, which is unity amongst competition amongst countries. Because I know for me, and Francis can attest to this, if we went online right now in an hour on Splatoon, the minute I saw the Japanese name, I knew I had to up my game. The spirit competition raised up. When I see BJ 4269, I have to take it easy. That means nothing to me. When I see like Sunni, I'm like, oh shit! I lift up in my chair, I put on my bandana, I hype up my music, and we go. Esports belong in some form of platforming and someday media entertainment, but no one's going to consider it a real sport. The same way how people are like, curling is a sport. Like, curling is a recreational activity. It looks fun, but it is not necessarily a sport to me because by pure definition, all things could be sport if it has activity and rules, right? Basics. Dueling could technically be a sport. Why don't I have that in the Olympics? Because it's, but riddle me that. So,
and I've been thinking, and I was thinking about this. This is good. This is good, Andrew. I was thinking about this in the car. Like, I'm like, why aren't there motorsports too, as well? Because I feel like that's even a great test of skill. I would like to see that. Just put these guys in all these guys like just a stock car or whatever, and just put tracks like just a special Olympic track that they do in whatever city, and just have the guys playing for their actual countries, or driving for their actual countries. That'd be pretty cool to see. I guess. Heck, you could have it could even be a mix of guys. You could have NASCAR guys going with Indy guys representing the USA. That I think that would be pretty cool. Even though I'm not Billy Bob who watches NASCAR, but I'm also like when the USA is playing the Olympics, I'm also America. So
Anheuser-Busch would absolutely love you though for the sponsorship.
Oh hell yeah!
Because more people will literally, support and drink that nasty beer unless you're going to sponsor us. Look, otherwise, I'm not your fan, but I'll sell out for anything, just like McDonald's BTS meal. One day we'll try it. One day.
Well, actually, we actually mentioned that. I mentioned that like when we never have tried it. When none of us are trying it ever. Also, it was kind of funny how I was talking about Vladimir Putin and stuff like that. And we're talking about these countries, then all of a sudden, like the mech warrior thing comes out and says, "Be your own weapon." I'm like, this is nice and peaceful for the Olympics. But yeah, where were you going with that, Charles? I'm sorry.
Very, very, basically Anheuser-Busch to sponsor us, but it goes into a lot of things encompassing, whether it's esports or other sports, because, your F1 stuff is recognized internationally. NASCAR is recognized internationally, but it's always easy. You just think Ricky Bobby, just bring somebody over. But I don't think you're ever going to get it because it's the same way of how MLB and the National League could be so rigid that they won't do a designated hitter. I don't see the Olympics like expanding because of the rigidity of the spirit of whatever they're trying to instill. Plus, here's the truth. How are you going to make it a spectacle to view? Because part of the thing about the Olympics is the scenery. Track and field, you see a track and field. Boxing, you see a ring. What you're going to see is some sweaty guys and girls with some, it's stereotypical to say Mountain Dew Code Red, but it's definitely going to be some Bang energy drinks. Cheetos, maybe, but that leaves some residue. You want to sponsor those people.
Mountain Dew Game Fuel.
But seriously, so I don't think it has an aesthetically pleasing thing. Plus, let's be honest here, half of the people, I'm caught, man. Hard.
The only thing
they're more pervs, so they just want to see the women in the volleyball with the
If they would have done esports this year, would have been the one to do it with it being in Japan. I mean. Heck.
But also, what's the game that you get? That's the question you have to ask. What's the game?
Yeah, unless it's like, you'd have to. I mean, there's so many games you have to what are you gonna do? Like Overwatch or League of Legends or
look,
I
have played
Super
Overwatch.
Smash
but I think out of all the games to represent Overwatch would be like the worst game.
Yeah.
Because Overwatch is nothing team-based.
Right.
Because if you're playing freaking, payload or whatever they call it, there's so many, because a lot of games are Mimico and stuff. Yeah, payload. No one would push for it.
Yeah.
No one would push for it. And, are these guys mentally trained to not rage quit? I don't know. And what's your qualifications?
Yeah.
Francisco's an S ranking and lost Platoon stuff. I think he could represent America very well. How are you going to vet me? Because I don't have sponsorship? Well, I shouldn't have to get sponsorship.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to. I mean, yes, I need sponsorship, but I shouldn't have to be like, oh, I dedicate my life as being MLG. Back in the Halo days when we were playing, I played against MLG guys. I forgot the name of it when you're trying to get the ball. And it was one of those unloved but purely loved game modes, and it's going to get to me later. But, what's your qualifications? It's too complex because you know why, Andrew? Esports is not going to work because there's only one Simone Biles. There's only one Michael Phelps. To a degree. There's only one. Somebody give me another.
Yeah, I know there's some. I know there's some folks that can name certain I guess quote unquote stars of a gaming community.
You take away all the people from Street Fighter and Evo, because I can't do those fighting games. You and I can hand in their ass. I'm just saying it right now, and that's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. I can hold my own Mario Kart. I can hold my own Splatoon. Right. Yeah, I can figure it out. Just like the fighting games are probably the only ones that I could see would take actual real skill, because those are damn hard. I get good at Street Fighter or Smash or Tekken or Virtua Fighter or Guilty Gear, what have you.
Oh my God, we're just the tune-up guys. Have you ever tried to play a Street Fighter game? You're like, I need an arcade stick.
And the one-on-one tournaments in Smash that play every couple days, okay, I can win round one, but once I get to round two, I'm like, oh God. This is a teenager that has been playing Smash all summer.
yeah. But on a good day, though, and here's the thing, Francisco and I, for a good period of time, oh, there's a lizard in my house. For a good period of time, we would play Smash online. It's a baby lizard, no tail. My cat's looking at it. What we do, we just hit at randoms, and sometimes we just kick some dude's butt.
Yeah.
Or gal's butt. We are an equal opportunity, ass whooper when it comes to Smash Brothers, ladies and gents. If you want to follow us on our gaming tags, go look in our little stream and they'll go from there. But I love the concept of it, but how does it fit? What are the qualifications? Olympics, they make it seem so intense, so you have to think thoroughly.
The only way I could see it even remotely working is if there was a legitimate Olympic game that they develop just for the Olympics that has almost like a
made by EA Sports.
No. Oh, hell no.
Could you imagine?
No.
You have to play the Olympics game at the Olympics, so virtual. Oh no,
it would have to be something so
archery.
something so. You know what? Just put Roblox. Just make it Roblox or something. They have all kinds of games inside of there, and that's basically. And they just have a special Olympic area just for those athletes, quote unquote, for them to do whatever event that they've developed. And it's okay, you got 4 years to train for this lone event, and then whatever. I have no idea. Yeah, I just don't see that working out. I think esports has it has its place. I get it. I'm not into it, but I know it has its place, and that's fine. And people playing video games and stuff like that, and like it's fine. But I sure as hell don't want to get into the Smash community because I take showers, guys. I like deodorant. I like smelling good.
Yep.
I like being able to be, attractive to not only women but also other human beings to be near me. We
take care of our parents.
Yeah.
They don't take care of us.
Yeah, exactly. And we don't secretly have sexual assault allegations against us as well. I don't want to be part of that community. All right?
We never masturbated to a video game character. I'm just saying.
Super Smash
Brothers. Rule 34.
Well, Rule 34 is out there, dude, and it's 2021. We can't kink shame. I just talked about foot fetish for my non-sponsor, so you were gone.
Jesus Christ. I'm gonna king shame on some Rule 34 stuff because once you see Lamb Chop, the old puppet sock.
Did you guys see this? Okay, because we are here now. Hold on a second. I guess we'll still be on the Gottlieb's Goons. This is Olympic related. Did you guys see that Australia accidentally made Olympic furries?
Are you sure it's accidentally?
I mean, maybe
a lot of countries. I believe it's Australia.
Oh god, I gotta be real careful what I put up here, but yeah, Australia government accidentally commissions furries. Here we go. So they were trying to get like people into the Olympic spirit with like the Australian teams, and I like their logo with like the kangaroo and the emu and stuff like that's pretty cool. But they were using like native animals from Australia and turning them into anthropomorphic versions of those. And I don't know, someone didn't get the memo, or a designer secretly knew what they were doing and was like, all right, well, this is technically what furries are, but you guys are paying me, so here we go. And they made furries.
I literally hate the fact that I have a motto in my head of how you present that. It's Kangaroo Jack gonna hit it from the back.
Hold on.
I can't.
Hold on. Who's it? The Royal Australian Mint was looking for someone to redesign its boxing kangaroo mascot and created a new one for a series of collectible coins to drum up national pride for the Olympics and Paralympics. And then rest assured, the people employing me had no idea what furries were, said the furry designer, Adelaide-based artist Landick. So the designer knew. But I did. Oh, man. This is great.
Jesus.
This is amazing. Here we are. It's 2021, and we have furries in the Olympics. Well, I mean, one of those athletes has to be a furry. Like, secretly.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. For any even professional job in the U.S. sports-wise in the Olympics, you should hire basically a modern day, not influencer, but modern day. How do I want to say this? Like a person who's kept up with the times, young person, mid-20s, gainful employment, their experiences, knowing not just the woke culture, but how society is going to turn a innocent situation or innocuous situation into a perverted, dark, decrepit, fascinating thing. Just like my Rizzo gets the jizzo that Andrew, I had to pipe that in because I knew I wasn't going to be fully on the show, but any kind of euphemism or twist the turn. And listen, he hit a home run tonight. Yeah. Riz is in the biz.
I mean, she's been, God, you guys really hit on that, on getting that guy. Wow. Out of all the three Cubs that were traded, him, Chris Bryant, and Javi Baez, he's been the best one.
I'm already in love.
Yeah.
We have the cold jaws, but Riz in the Jizz Biz is going to be a it's going to be, we're going to have to start at new season, but we're going to, if he gets re-signed, and he has to get re-signed, because if he does not get re-signed, all this means nothing. The man up close and personal has, the thickest thighs, man. I'm like, Giancarlo's got the booty. Yeah. Rizzo's got the legs, man. Love that man.
Oh, by the way, yes. What was your experience at good old Lone Depot? What did you eat? That's all I really want to know. What did you eat?
I ate Ale House because coming down, I was stuck in traffic trying to find parking, so I kind of got side hustled by the Cuban restaurant before me to pay additional $20, but I kind of don't regret it because it was easier because I didn't have to be stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've been to Lone Depot before. I like it still now. I think it's a good ballpark. It's just so weird because on some stages, on some sides of it, it looks big. On some sides of it, it looks small.
Yeah.
So that's what I get into. But I had Domingo Germán pitching. He kind of like screwed up, but he pitched well. You guys know about like the weird play where we tagged out going to the first, which was great for us, or the Marlins had tagged out going to the first. I got to see the Riz in the biz for that jizz, hitting a home run, which was beautiful. I guess when we'll do his measurements, it'll be courts. You guys would agree with me if we can get like Goofs after dark. We're going down the deep end. We're mature now. This is we're going on almost year 4, right?
Yeah.
So we're adults now. We're men and women of the Sports Goof Nation, and we're mature. And I mean, there was no DJ LeMahieu because playing in the National League, you gotta get your pitchers in there, so I didn't get to see him. But Gio Urshela was in, Riz was in. Thankfully, I didn't get Jameson Taillon pitching because I would have yelled at him. I'm the guy's bad luck as we're tied up 3-3 right now. There was no Chapman. Chad Green was there, and that scared me. But I enjoyed going there because that's like the first time, like I think 5 years, the Yankees I played there, and it saves me additional 2.5 hours to go down to Miami as opposed to going to Tampa. So I was happy with it. I got to wear my Yankees hat. I sat near the visitors bullpen, essentially a visitors dugout near the third base section. A whole lot of Yankee fans in there. I was thinking about doing like a doubleheader with it, but I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that because it's like I want to pay that money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got good tickets. That's the beautiful thing about it. I want your team to succeed because I have no dog in that race in the NL. But if it comes to like
Derek
only
Jeter,
having to
come
pay,
on now, I'm Lawrence Saver.
well, I love Derek Jeter, but I was shouting for him.
Posada's with us too.
Listen, I was shouting for him saying, "I'm here, Jeets. I got the knee pads. I'm ready for you." But he didn't answer me. But he knew I was eyeing Anthony Rizzo. What a great specimen human being. Anthony Rizzo, follow me, man, on Twitter. I'll follow you right now. But I liked it. So for the most part, I just also love how cheap the Miami. Look, I'm gonna do a plug for the Miami Marlins right now. Win or lose, you have aside from COVID, being out there because it's out there. Unlike certain governors of the state of Florida says, it is super cheap and inexpensive to place yourself out there. So go see your team, go support it. If you live Palm Beach down and you're interested in baseball, they might not be your team, but go support them because we have a lot of transplants. But
yeah, go
I like
down
going to Depot Park.
Go down every other weekend, right?
Yeah, it's literally like nosebleeds. Like
weekdays are not really Palm Beach County and up friendly. You know what I mean? But,
yeah, but we try all the same. Relatively simple. So I enjoyed it. I enjoy it. Look, I enjoy no offense to you, Andrew. I enjoy Lone Depot Park much more than Tropicana because Tropicana looks like where I'm going to go in the afterlife when I'm stuck in purgatory. I hate that stadium. It is an awful stadium. I wouldn't mind chilling in Lone Depot.
I don't disagree with you there. I wouldn't say it's purgatory bad, but Lone Depot is definitely a much nicer stadium. I won't argue there.
All right. I just wanted to see if you tried some of the food that I had sent you.
I would have
special food they had just for the Yankees series.
I would have if Miami had not been Miami.
Yeah. Well. Oh well. So, I do have a review of another experience that I had. So I went to Dolphins training camp, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doug had a couple tickets. I guess he got from the Dolphins. I guess they were giving out it was their first day of their opening of their new training facility right next to Hard Rock Stadium. So that was pretty exciting to see. Like, hey, why not? Let's go head on back to the old baseball stadium. So, and it's still a baseball stadium until the Dolphins win a damn Super Bowl. So, yeah.
Which could happen if you get Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, well, they're sticking with Tua. He's QB1 right now. So, anyways, we went. We got there early. Thankfully, Hard Rock Stadium's parking situation is way better than frickin' Drive Pink Stadium and MLS stuff. So that was easier to get into. And their training facilities basically on the west of their. It's literally in the same parking lot, same structure, all that stuff. It's Stephen Ross's wacky world right now. He's got these. I mean, I don't know if you guys have been there lately. You got the tennis courts. You got the freaking the carts that they have that can take you from one end of the parking lot to the other in the air. You know, the ski lift type of stuff.
I've been there. I've been to the place 3 times in the last.
Well, I mean, you went for the national
years or so.
championship, so yeah.
Well, not just that, but I also went for that free tour.
Right. But you saw all the stuff that they have now, right? Around the stadium. They have the freaking, the lift that you can go from one end of the stadium to another in the air. That's pretty cool. Like, and now they have the Dolphins training facility, and now they're making an F1 course out of it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Stephen Ross is making that thing everything aside from a baseball stadium. So the one thing that the stadium was successful at being, as far as championships was concerned, and he's doing everything else with it. But yeah, the new training facility, it's a football practice facility. It looks fantastic. He spent a ton of money on it. I'm sure the Dolphins love it. They got the indoor stuff. We saw them training outdoors. They had the stands there. It was general admission, so it was basically a free-for-all for whatever seats that you could find. But the thing that I liked the most, like, I don't give a crap. I was just watching them. Like, Doug knew more than I did, of course, because the Dolphins are my 4th favorite team of the teams down here.
It's all about that Jalen Waddle and that.
Yeah, well, we saw Tua, we saw Jalen. Yeah. You know, he was there. We saw Shaquem, Andrew. He was there.
I'm excited. So, I might actually go to a practice. I might actually go to a game.
Yeah, or head on over to a practice and see if you can catch him. You know, just like, hey, wear some UCF stuff. I'm like, oh, dude.
Can you just throw your lot to like the Dolphins though, and get away from that terrible fraud of a coach as Urban Meyer in Jacksonville?
I mean, he already has.
Andrew's
a Bucks fan. Right? Andrew's a Bucks fan now. Remember that?
Did we receive the paperwork?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if he filled out the paperwork. I mean, we still got the season hasn't started yet.
I'll fill it out.
Just go online. Just Google. Just Google the bandwagon application. You can find it. Anyways, Andrew. So like the one thing that I did like there, and they had food truck and stuff outside of that, and a bunch of stuff for you to sign your life away to whatever companies were there to sponsor it, was the Dolphins had a garage sale there, which was the thing that me and Doug stood in line for maybe like 45 minutes or so just to get in. It was like these tents or whatever that they had there, and they had a bunch of like the stuff that the players didn't use over the past couple seasons, like all the extra Nike stuff, like all the extra hats and hoodies and shorts and pants and like that was unused, and it's just from old stock that they had from the past couple seasons.
Hey, you want that Cleo lemon hat?
Well, I bought 2 hats, guys. You know I'm a hat guy. I bought me a nice gray retro Miami Dolphins snapback. Oh, Andrew, it was in my office. I didn't really show it to you. But it's there hanging in my office. And then I bought a, what was it? Gosh, man. Where? It's right here. Gosh, hold on. Let me grab it. This one. Well, nobody can see it because this is an audio program, but it's Aqua Miami Dolphins Retro 1972 logo. Dolphin cap. It's 4940 stretch fit new era cap, which was $15, and the other snapback I got was $15, not the $50 David Beckham that you were trying to frickin' swindle me for at the MLS game. And I mean, brand new. I didn't have to, doesn't smell like Laramie Tunsil's weed, but I'm not sure. By the way, they were selling Laramie Tunsil jerseys there that I guess he didn't use, or he might have used. I'm not sure, that were there. And Doug bought a helmet. He paid $75 to buy a used helmet.
But you know what? That's better. That's better than buying the little Rydell like desk helmets. That was like
Yeah.
45.
No, he bought a legitimate NFL helmet. It doesn't have a face mask. He's actually gonna look for a legit face mask to kind of screw onto there. But he bought a legitimate helmet for $75. It is in. It's below his Xbox Series X right now. He sent me a photo, so that was pretty cool. I honestly that was the one thing I loved about the training camp. I will never go again. Actually, I will go again just for the garage sale. I'll go sit in the parking lot, wait in line, and see what they got next year as far as like the overstock is concerned. And heck, Miami Heat or Florida Panthers or Marlins at spring training, do this. Please do this. Please do this. I would love for you guys to do this all of the time because, man, the deals. Charles, you would have loved it. You would have loved it.
$15 for hats is what the norm should be.
Yeah.
Some of these things are just ridiculous. When you
All
go
right.
and you find stuff.
Aside from that, we're at the 2-hour mark, guys. Shall we? Shall we go? Andrew?
I mean,
You have anything else, or shall we head on over?
Let's head over.
All right, so let's head on over to the cage, guys.
all right. Welcome, everybody, to your weekly Truplex The Cage with Charles. Full disclaimer, wrestling is not fake. It is scripted. It is a scripted big fight. It is scripted song, dance, poetry, emotion, ballet, soap operas, dramas, sometimes a little bit of hardcore deathmatch mayhem. Whatever you want to call it, you can constitute, you can make it if you dream it. It's also about men and women chasing championships, trying to beat the holy hell out of each other and find some relevancy in the world. And lately, trying to find what, guys? Gainful employment. Because, I never thought in my 25 years of being a wrestling fan that my fellow Virgo, Vince McMahon, and I believe he's a Virgo. His birthday's coming up soon. My birthday's coming up soon. The only thing that differentiates between him and I is I think I have better hair, but he has more money in his wallet. The stars have aligned. Hell is freezing over. All those people that you never want to talk to are going to call you up, and Virgos and Mars, or whatever the hell they call it these days, because we don't follow astrology. I agree with Vince McMahon on some things. But before we go into the hot topic debate of things, let's do some catch-ups, shall we? I'm going to give an NWA shout-out. National Wrestling Alliance. They were kind of making their resurgence lately. Billy Corgan, that's right, that Billy Corgan, the Smashing Pumpkins. He's kind of like running the show. He's been running the show the last 2 years. 3, 4, 5, something of that nature. Fun little fact about Billy Corgan. Big wrestling fan. Had a supervisory role at TNA Impact. Then put some monies into NWA, National Wrestling Alliance, for those who need that memories. You're thinking, oh, wait, Charles, Ric Flair, National Wrestling Alliance? Yeah. You're talking about
They
Big
have
Gold Belt?
92,000 followers on Twitter.
Yeah, going to it. Yeah, how they've been able to remain relevant. They have and they haven't. They had launched a YouTube show, which was NWA Power, with like 5 R's, and had a kick-ass theme song. They had some decent matches on there. They had some highlight guys such as Eli Drake, who is now LA Knight on NXT. They had a few other people in there. They have Aldis, I forgot his last name, has his current NWA heavyweight champion, world heavyweight champion, Nick Aldis, going from there. It's been going, but you're saying, how have they survived the pandemic? They were hurting, man. They were hurting it pretty badly, where they let some of the talent go to AEW and be used there and some other stuff so they can get some monies. But the reason why I'm kind of giving the highlight little shout out is they're going to do a all women's pay-per-view. They're aiming to do an all women's pay-per-view spearheaded by Mickie James. Yes, that Mickie James, who used to wrestle for WWE, who was notorious for being kind of like, oh, there's trash bag of clothes when she was released, who was recently released, who was very opinionated about Vince McMahon, which is fine. I'm opinionated about Vince. Your opinion on Vince, come here. I'm not going to pay you or anything like that, but we will give you the platform. By all means, follow us on Twitter too. They're going to do a all-women's wrestling pay-per-view called NWA Empowerment. They've had some names that are listed in there. I don't know everybody. I'm not perfect. I know their current NWA champion is Camille Brickhouse, so I'm assuming, or Camille, however you say it, she's a powerhouse, man. She'll beat all 3 of us down.
Wait, is this the one with Wrestling Waifu?
No. What Wrestling Waifu, I think, is now back on Impact.
Oh, okay.
But she may pop in. That's the thing. You have talents that are going to be cross-promoting. I remember her name, and I forgot her name. I think it's either Allie or something else, because it's been a long time since we spoke about Wrestling Waifu. She Kaylee Ray, I think, or Kylie Ray. gotta be careful with those rays. Sometimes it's a porn star name. We try not to advocate that on the show until we get the Sports Goofs After Dark, unless you're an Australian furry. But they have a few people there. It's very similar to like the Women's Evolution, except I think it's going to be more of a better than the moniker that was WWE's Evolution pay-per-view, which I enjoyed the pay-per-view. They had Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair going at it in a what was it? It was, I don't know if it was an Iron Women's match or if it was a last woman standing. It's been a long time, so I saw it. I also was pretty drunk that day because I was in South Carolina with my buddy. Good pay-per-view. Watch it. But I think it's a good kind of kick in the ass because women's wrestling has kind of been stalling, in my opinion. With a lot of releases that have been out there in the WWE, I would like to see certain people get an opportunity on different platforms because for me, I'm not a loyalist to WWE. I'm not a loyalist to AEW. I'm not a loyalist to anybody. I'm a wrestling fan. And when you were younger, I didn't come into the generation with just WWE. That's like, my predecessor from 10, 15 years ago. I came in with WCW and WWF. The parity is needed. It helps. It's there. It's beneficial. So AEW has kind of been signing off the cast-offs, but it's always good when you have I won't even call them cast-offs, the unwanted is what I'll call them, because truly that's what it is. Whenever you get that call saying, oh, budget cuts, hint, hint, that's going to be the finale of the cage where we speak about it. But you get some ideas, but this is a good way for a very little known but kind of known organization to get their branches out. People are probably going to watch it. I hope they do. Helps kind of get the women wrestling talent, which is there. It's out there. You have Ruby Soho, formerly known as Ruby Riott, formerly known as Heidi Lovelace, going in there. She's one of those released talents. Maybe she pops in there. Rumor mills she's in AEW. But good on NWA. You get a little bit of shout out. Ring of Honor, doing Ring of Honor things. I won't really mention them right now. New Japan. Nothing really crazy that I've seen that's on the building blocks, but they've been kind of stricken by the virus and everything that's kind of going on there. Hopefully Kota Ibushi does get healthy, so I do get that Shingo Takagi versus Kota Ibushi for the New Japan World Heavyweight Championship, because I just want to see how good it can be. Coming to it, Impact Wrestling. We talked about Jay White being there. Someone's going to challenge Kenny Omega. Someone's hopefully going to take that damn belt off from him. I don't know who. I really hope it's Josh Alexander, the walking weapon, because it's a kick-ass nickname, and I just like the guy. But right now, they're just kind of building things. AEW, WWE. This is where the focus is now, kids. We'll go with AEW. Right now, they're doing AEW Homecoming. That main event's going to be Malachi Black versus Cody Rhodes. It's going on right now. Tune in on TNT to see it. Cody, we love you. Follow me. I hope Malachi beats the holy hell out of you, and I hope you don't bury him because you can't win. Juventud Guerrera came back for his first match after 15 years from being on TNT. You know Hoovy. He's the juice. No for the 450 splash, the Hoovy driver. One of the first people to really kind of put over Jericho in WCW in a sense of like, I built a real story aside from being the lion tamer. What was Jericho kind of known for? From what I recall in WCW in my days, he helped make that cruiserweight title revered. And also he was known for unmasking luchadors. Anybody who lost him, he would put the mask versus title on the line. Hoovy was the first one, if I recall correctly, to get mask removed from Jericho. So they had a rematch now as part of their whole Labors of Jericho Part 3, and then, of course, Juventud lost because Hoovy had to lose. But it was interesting. I'll watch that because I just came into the house like 20 minutes ago or 30 minutes ago. So I will watch that when I get a chance because I want to see if the Juice still's got it. But the Juice is loose, so I'm sure he does. And, Jericho's been kind of an interesting component to AEW. I think with all these new signings, after his labors and trials of Jericho are done, he's done with his feud with MJF, they're really going to scale him back because, guys, this feud has been really going on since like November, and I can't handle it anymore. Too long of storytelling. Other things that we spoke about that we didn't get a chance to talk about last week. Adam Hangman Page, the cowboy, the guy I love. Yeah, cowboy bleep, hanging out with the Dark Order. Remember how last week I said, oh, hey, he's going to be challenging in a 10-man tag team match, Dark Order versus the Super Elite, and if they win, then Hangman's going to get a shot at Omega, and then the Dark Order's going to get a shot at tag team titles. Remember that? So they lost in a very odd booking, all out September 4th or 5th. Who's Kenny go against? Is it going to be Daniel Bryan? Is it going to be CM Punk? I told you guys they signed, right? It hasn't been official, but that's when you go into the big, ooh, it's coming. AEW Rampage, the Friday night TNT show is coming up. Or TBS is going to be premiering this Friday. They're going to be in Chicago. CM Punk, he's going to be there, supposedly. But why are we derailing Hangman Page's momentum? He's literally helped bring you during a fanless fan base. And when the fans came back, they were ready for it and they were stoked. And you're delaying the event. Why? For a dream match of who? Omega? You're not going to do Omega and Punk. I really have no inclination for Punk to be challenging for main titles. He's on Taker level. And for anybody who's a purist in wrestling, don't get your knickers in a bunch. It's okay when I say Taker is that when Taker hit his certain years into the business, he didn't need the championship anymore. He can still be a spectacle guy. He can still kind of get those dream matches, unless you're getting him and Roman Reigns at that WrestleMania. Match could have been so much easier if they shaved off 15 minutes. But Punk hasn't wrestled in 7 years, so I don't want him to be productly placed for the fanboys to be going against Omega. And then who's the other one I can think of? Christian Cage, who's been kind of doing nothing because him and Kenny have had some interaction, but Christian's been going against Matt Hardy and his faction. Why would you derail the young up-and-comer to give the old vet an opportunity to have a title match at a pay-per-view? This is just theory and speculation. Who knows who will be, but wrestling has a predictability, even though it's different organizations, gentlemen. It's the same thing as a touchdown is always going to be 6 points in college football, as a touchdown is always going to be 6 points in professional football, correct? It's the same logic that kind of builds in, because I'm glad Christian's back. Sure, this is great, but if it really is Christian, and yes, he's undefeated in AEW in singles and I believe in multis, are you kind of not doing the ripoff of WWE? I'm just assuming it's Christian because I think Christian's the safer bet than the next suggestion I might make. But are you kind of like doing a ripoff of the WWE? Because what did WWE just do not once but twice, Andrew? They had Edge compete for the big title in WWE by winning the Royal Rumble, going against Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and then also just having a fantastic but a little bit overrated match at Money in the Bank for the title set again. Does it not feel like a rinse and repeat if you do that? You don't have as much story with Christian Cage going against Kenny Omega because everybody's like, it'd be a dream match. I'm like, but will it though? Because the dream match is right there with Omega and Page. It just seems to me because of story, because I'm a fan of what guy's story and character. The only other person I could think of, and it's kind of okay, but I don't think it would draw if it's supposed to be your main event, would be Frankie Kazarian and Kenny Omega. Frankie Kazarian was part of SoCal Uncensored. He was teaming up with Christopher Daniels and then with Scorpio Sky. Scorpio Sky broke up. Now he's irrelevant, I guess. Unfortunately for him, I liked him. Daniels got basically retired by the Young Bucks, who were part of the Super Elite. And then Frankie Kazarian adapted this persona of the Elite Hunter, right? Or the Elite Killer. I think it's the Elite Hunter. And so if it makes sense that he's going to try to chop off the dragon's head and not let the body, not like a Hydra which has multiple heads pop up, but chop off the main thing to stunt the body, then he would go after Kenny. The story is kind of there, but not as juicy, right? Unless you're really going to have Kazarian win because Christopher Daniels comes back and interferes, but that's a big stretch. Or it could be just a random mysterious person, sure, that I'm not too fond of because the story is there. Why are we going to delay this? Don't do this unless there's something up. But Hangman ain't hurt. Kenny's healing. Why are we doing this, guys? I don't get it. But hopefully we find out later tonight. I'm checking as we speak what the updates are. What are we going? I mean, Christian Cage just beat the Blade. It means nothing to me, but what are we going to do? What are we going to do from there? I don't think it's going to be Daniel Bryan. I know what you guys are saying. Hey, is it going to be Daniel Bryan? I don't think so. I don't have much of a belief that it would be, for the sole nature of why do you need a title for him right now? I can see him getting a title eventually, but I want these guys that you're bringing over to kind of just have their dream matches with young talent. I want to see Daniel Bryan versus Jungle Boy. I want to see Daniel Bryan in a feud with Malachi Black, just as I want CM Punk to go against Eddie Kingston. We love you, Eddie. Great promo guy. Always follow us on Twitter. And, Moxley. But I don't know if I need all of this going into it. So it'll be interesting. See what happens there. Going to AEW from AEW to WWE. SmackDown, Raw, it's fine. It's building. John Cena, Roman Reigns. John Cena's got a contract and title. I'm just going to chop it up in there because I want to vote the next bit of times coming into it. Raw, Goldberg, Bobby Lashley. Yeah, fine. Right? The Raw side of SummerSlam, yeah. SmackDown side of SummerSlam, especially Edge and Seth Rollins, I'm going to love it. I'm going to be about it. Give it to me in my veins. It's fine. My dogs are about to go barking in 10 seconds. I'm going to be for it. But the big thing happened. A big release happened. Super big release, gentlemen. Probably the biggest release out of all the releases. Ric Flair has been released from his contract. I kid. I don't care for it. I love Ric Flair. Ric Flair's in my top 5 favorites. Ric Flair's like 72. He can barely speak on the mic now. He got old and he can't wrestle. So, he says that he was released because of wrestling endeavors. But in truth, if you're retired, you've been released for a while, right? Last storyline he was doing was being like the fake baby daddy or the false baby daddy to Lacey Evans, who really got pregnant in real life. Bray Wyatt got released. The Fiend Bray Wyatt, Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt, Swamp Thing Bray Wyatt, and I get it. And I hate myself for it. Bray moved merchandise. Bray was captivating. Bray knew how to work the mic. He's had good matches. He's had like 1 or 2 great matches I've seen. Then he's had some very bad matches. He's been a victim of bad booking. He is wrestling blood, wrestling loyalty. He is a son of IRS Mike Rotunda, right? Uncle is Barry Windham, if memory serves me correctly. His brother is Bo Dallas, the other Rotunda. At 34, and Vince let him go. It wasn't Vince. It was Nick Khan, who was head of talent relationships. And I remember I got it. My buddy Tony texted me, sad face, bro. I'm like, what's up? I'm like, someone died? I don't know what's going on. They're like, they released Bray. I'm like, what? The reaction coming into it, not even like Step Brothers, did we become best friends, but more like a different what. And I sat back and I thought about it. I'm like, but I get it. Because one, they're releasing contracts, so they want to buy things, right? They want to sell. They want to make it the maximum amount of profit at the lowest cost that they're paying as a falsity. But then the other thing that kind of I get, and I'm looking as a talent perspective, you have to really know the history of Bray Wyatt as a wrestler and what WWE did with it and couldn't do with it. They screwed up because they had to have Bray lose to a lot of people originally when he came in, when he was basically what I call Swampy Bray, Cult Leader Bray, Firefly Bray. Lost to Roman, of course, lost to John Cena. There was a point where the Wyatt family guys their big match was going against the ECW originals of Rhino and the Dudley Boys and whatever. That's not stuff that you want. That's dead in the water. I think they lost in a street fight on a Raw. It was terrible. And then they took some time off, and then they split the people, and they go from there. And then he had to go find out some stuff. He wanted a challenge for the title. Didn't go from there. Couldn't build in some stories. Went against Seth. Went against Finn Balor, but was really just brought up there to put over Finn Balor. Couldn't do anything going on there. He was going to be Sister Abigail for a bit, which everybody thinks he was going to dress in, female garments with face painting and stuff like that to match Finn Balor's demon. He got the mumps. Seriously, I think it was like an infection that came out and hit everybody because it was just him and his brother. It was Roman Reigns actually too, on top of other people. So they can go from there. So creatively, you can't find certain things for him. You're not taking him as a big serious threat. And then he was off TV for like 9 months, guys. Not even in house shows, except for like one time to go against Baron Corbin out of nowhere. So you already had him gone for a bit. Okay, fine. Then he comes back as the Fiend, and we loved it. You guys remember me hyping this shit up like it's the best thing since sliced bread, or it's the new Taco Bell menu. New item Taco Bell menu. Really, that's the better way to describe it. And then you get the wait and wait. And then what happens is, great debut at SummerSlam. It would have been 2 years since the Fiend debuted. And then they bungled it big time. Seth gets disqualified in a Hell in a Cell match. How does that happen? He wins the title only to lose to Goldberg. Ew. Then has some weird matches at Mania. And then he gets burned alive by Randy Orton. And then Brody Lee dies. This is going from the dirt sheet, kids, where they say that he needed time off for his mental health because of it. But the way I'm looking at it as a business, and I don't know if it's true or not, I'm just going on speculation and theory and stuff like that. But what I do know is Bray has not been back since WrestleMania. That was in April. We are in August. Bray has been gone before in the past because they didn't have anything to do creatively, and they told him to lose weight and get in shape. Apparently, he was looking like in excellent shape when someone took a photograph of him. But if I'm looking at it as a business perspective, here's a downside of these contracts. Even if you're moving all the merch and stuff like that, one, the wrestlers are getting the payout. But then two, if I don't have anything for you, if you're requesting leave more than might be a reasonable extended period of time, and you're not showing up, and I'm looking at the totality of you as a person, it's the same thing you would do if a wrestler is often injured. What do you do if a wrestler is often injured, kids? Like Fandango is going to be an example. I love Fandango. He was part of Breezango, but he was often injured. What do you do with that person? You release him. Same thing too in the professional world. You release him. And when I have nothing for you to do, when I already look at your sum of things and you're gone for 6, 8, 9 months, and now you've been out for 4 months, and we don't know if it was injury, we don't know if he was dealing with his mental health. I don't want to buy into that. I feel that's so common to say sometimes when you don't know the whole story. I feel like that's a dangerous water unless that person outright says it. But Bray's a professional. He knows the business. He's probably not going to comment on it, to be honest with you. But then I look at it as a businessman. I'm like, I get it because I'm paying him a fat sack of money because he's probably getting some good money. Not the best, not the highest, but better than the average bear. Um, and I can't do anything with him, right? And what's that business decision I would do? I oversee my program a little bit.
Mm.
If I had a very similar situation, I think I would do it too. You try to, in any kind of business management, I feel a motto that you have to have, a mantra that you have to have is that if there has to be fat on the steak and you can't cut the whole steak, cut the most that leaves the littlest amount of fat on that steak. Plain and simple. And you're always going to kind of have that with contracts. And yes, is it creating the idea that no one is uncuttable except for a few people? Yeah, we know Roman's uncuttable. Hell, Jimmy Uso has how many DUIs, Andrew? 3, and he ain't cut. But there's only certain people that's untouchable, and I could agree with that. That why Bray out there, but that's just you don't know if Bray asked for his release. There's a lot of people who hate it. CM Punk won't go back to WWE allegedly because he hates Vince. Plain and simple. Did it sting that I don't get to see Bray? Obviously not. Do I think he's a great talent that I have supported for 6 years that helped me come back into wrestling? Of course. Do I get it as a decision? Because let's just throw in hypothetical. If his calendar annual amount was $1 million, I don't think it's a high. I think Roman has a higher up. I'm gonna go with 1 million on downside contracts and everything. And you haven't come up to work for 4 months, haven't cut a promo, haven't done anything, haven't shown up. Because here's the thing about the Fiend, you guys need to understand. You can't have Fiend wrestle on a Raw. You can't have him wrestle on SmackDown. Last time he had a TV appearance that was a wrestling match was against Kevin Owens. That was it. It's not a week in, week out guy. So would you rather pay the talent who's going to show up every week who might not be as interesting of a character? Part of that's creative fault. Like 50% of that's creative, 75% of that's creative. But at least it's an aura of a character that you can have week in, week out to wrestle whomever, whatever. Drew Gulak. I love Drew Gulak. Please put him on there. But his character right now might be a plain vanilla Jane, but he can be there to wrestle whomever and whatever. But you can't do that with the Fiend because one loses the mystique, and then two, the character gets hurt. It's not like the Undertaker who could like wrestle every week because there was guys that was on Taker's level of main event in character. It's different with this roster now. Taker in the Attitude Era, there was like 10 guys that were main event level, and then other guys who were like mid card. Taker could just beat their ass or go against a lower card just to kind of set an example, especially when he was American Badass Taker, right, Andrew? But what do you do then now? Who are you gonna have Fiend go against on regular TV? Oh, the Fiend's gonna go against Angel Garza. Oh, the Fiend's gonna go against Humberto Carrillo. I don't think it works. So if I looked at it as a sum of all things, I'm gonna say I'm believing Vince wants to sell. I think Nick Khan wants to help Vince sell because he's probably gonna be next guy in charge. You do well, you get your head patted, you get that promotion, right? You become next in line. What am I thinking? I'm thinking let's get this steak as little fat on there to the people so we can incentivize it. I hope he does continue his wrestling career. My question is that how does that succeed elsewhere? Where can you go? Because AEW doesn't strike me as supernatural spooky business for a very valid reason. One, it's the style of wrestlers that you have. For those who have seen AEW, I think I got Francisco to watch a little bit of it when it was Moxley versus Jake Hager, when he was doing a live stream. And then, some of the highlights I send you guys, it's more athletic. It's not as charactery, but it's more about putting on matches. Where do you put that in there? That's like putting Undertaker in AEW. And for the people who say, Bray's Undertaker, shut up. This is my segment, not y'all's segment. But it's about pop and place again. Is it a square peg in a circle hole? That's my thought process. And also, the only person who right now is engendering it a little bit is Malachi Black, formerly Aleister Black, on the Indies known as Tommy End. So is a rinse and repeat. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't need Bray to go to AEW to just give me a match with him versus Sting. Because that's really, I think, what they would try to do. That's how you kind of like fit it. Do I see Bray going back to WWE? Not as much as I see Braun Strowman going back to WWE. The reason why? Because Braun is your everyman. He's a big hoss who could beat the holy hell out of people, who could sell to the crowd as a face or a heel, and doesn't have to have that developmental growth and special needs as a wrestler the way that Bray was. Because Braun loses, Braun could be the main event picture the next day. Bray loses, it's always a problem, right? So the character doesn't even get a start. So we'll see. The man is brilliant. Rotunda, hope you hear me. I'm calling you brilliant. Follow us on Twitter. Love you. He'll find a way. I think he's a student in the game, student in the business, second or third generation wrestler. He knows this stuff, what he has to do to adapt. Maybe he changes his complete style completely. I don't know, but it hurts as a wrestling fan. I know he's not going to be unemployed. That right there is going to say it. But from a business perspective, hell is freezing over. If Vince gave the go ahead and it was proposed to him, I get it. And that's what I got for you on a very shocking weekly edition of The Cage. This is basically to give you guys what this is the equivalent of. It is Hell in a Cell, 1997 Undertaker Shawn Michaels, where Kane comes out of nowhere and just screws over Taker and helps Shawn win. It's the big shock and the swerve. I agree with Vince McMahon.
Oh, that's that. This feels weird. It's almost like saying the Austin Bills. Did you hear about that, Charles? We me and Andrew talked about that for a bit.
Oh, they're threatening to move.
Yeah, to move Austin, Texas, of all places. So.
I'm sorry, no one. You're in the flash in the pan now. You spent 20-something years sucking. You couldn't win 4 straight Super Bowls, not even one. You go 10-6 one year and then 13-3 this year, and it could be a pipe dream now because you're going to be in salary cap hell with all the people you have to pay. Don't threaten the great state of New York and Rochester, New York and Buffalo with your nonsense.
Yeah. Ugh. Gosh, it's almost. Also, you agree? Okay, well, that's the big twist. What a twist. Okay. Well, I think that's it. That's it for the show, guys. We ran pretty long here, 2 hours and 26 minutes. But me and Andrew talked a ton about stuff. Charles popped in right at the finish line, and I think that's all. So yeah, we'll see you guys next week. We'll talk about some stuff. Football's getting closer and closer. Freddie's getting ready. All his fantasy stuff's getting ready, and yeah, and my feet don't hurt no more, so I can lavish them with my fingers. Oh man, and Charles Cole Jobs, the full BDSM outfit. All right, all leather.
I mean, between that and Jizzo for Rizzo, we be playing. We're up 8-3 right now. Hold up here, guys, because Rizzo hit a homer. But you know who else is gonna kind of get my soul focused? Because I've been preaching about him lately. But Big Booty Daddy, that is Giancarlo Stanton. Slowly getting I've been his big supporter the entire season, have I not?
Yeah.
He's never going to play up to that contract.
I miss him.
Never going to play up to that contract.
I know, but I still miss him.
He's my big bad booty daddy. That's a Scott Steiner reference for those who, aside from the numbers don't lie, which is my favorite wrestling promo. Forget the flares, forget the macho. That is always going to be, for anybody who has not seen it, see it. Because it is just, and P.D. Williams tries his best to follow, and it's just great. There's other promos because his WCW stuff was the big bad booty daddy. Big Papa Pump has got the hookup. Holler if you hear me. Giancarlo's big bad booty daddy. Love him.
And we're going to end on that one. Bye, folks. We'll see you next week.
Good night.
Take care.